And hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. How's your week been? My lovely listeners, it's so glad, it's so wonderful, it's so fabulous, fabulous to be back with you again. So, remember last week we celebrated all our fabulous languages, and let me just give you a quick gist, huh? I have more toasters now than any other woman in this Nigeria. Like, as in, people were jealous. Those who were toasting me before and didn't have money said they're going to get a loan. The ones that had money, they're saying they're finding ways to send me flowers. And my girlfriends, well, simply, most of them stopped talking to me. So, thank you all. You're all fabulous. Now, today, I'm calling on you. I'm calling on you and calling on myself and each one of us to go on a journey of introspection, on a journey of healing, on a journey of truth. Now, today, I want us to talk, celebrate, and appreciate our Igbo brothers and sisters. Now, we don't need permission to celebrate each other, you know that. They might want us to have permission for everything else. But when it comes to celebrating our togetherness, our fabulousness, the greater of us, the collective, wonderful human beings that we are, the fact that we as a people are the ones that put the G in the great that is Nigeria. Today, when I open the phone lines, I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to call in and tell me about that wonderful, or maybe two or three, that wonderful, that priceless, that incredible Igbo person that you have in your life. I don't want you to call me about the Yoruba. I don't want you to call me about ethnic or whatever. I want you to call me and tell me about that wonderful Igbo person you have in your life. Because guess what? It's becoming apparent that quite a lot of us are forgetting one simple fact. And the fact is that Igbos are Nigerians too. Now, let me introduce my guest. My guest today is my dear brother, something of a partner in crime, aren't you, Prof? You can hear him laughing. You've seen him on TV. You've probably heard him on other shows. But when he talks to me, we talk special. Please welcome Professor Pat Utomi.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. But I want to start with those who have been toasting you.
Yes, sir.
Those who don't have enough money, I want to get more. No, but I want to toast you real good. And all I have to offer is grammar. does that help?
That works.
Okay.
That works. I'm a lady that falls in love with language.
Oh, fantastic.
That works fabulously. So, Prof, I invited you today. As you know, the topic is Igbos Are Nigerians Too. And I want to ask you, let's start. Tell me about Pat.
Oh.
Pat that was born Igbo, who is a Nigerian.
Well, mine, it's even unique in many ways because I was born in Kaduna.
Mm-hmm.
I was baptized in Jos.
Mm-hmm.
As an infant, I lived in Maiduguri. I started school in Kano. Finished primary schooling in Guzo, which is in Zamfara State. And then almost all of my secondary education was in Ibadan. So, Loyola boy, through Ibadan boy during the Agbekoya days. And went to university in the east at the University of Nigeria. So
it's safe to call you Wazobia child.
Absolutely.
Bata.
And I speak all three.
You speak all
main
three.
languages.
And you want to toast me. You're going to have to toast me in all three languages at the end of the show. You must. It is a must. We demand. See, even my producer is saying yes, it's a must. So tell me, what has it been like growing up as, or should I say, of Igbo ethnicity?
Well, it's a mixed experience, of course. First of all, I had the good fortune of experiencing some of the saddest parts of life. For example, not many people have had the experience I had of being on both sides during the Nigerian Civil War. Because when I came from the north, I actually started secondary school in Onitsha, at Christ the King's College. And then the Civil War came. And then I crossed to Asaba. During the course of Civil War, I spent a couple of months in the enclave. And then I witnessed, a terrible incident. The Asaba massacres, as they were called. And I recall, very interestingly, the different reactions from two parts of the world between what happened in Asaba in 1967 and another experience in Vietnam. There's a village in Vietnam called My Lai, and an American Lieutenant William Kelly had led a number of soldiers into the place. They thought they were trapped. They killed some civilians. William Kelly got tried when he returned to America. Globally celebrated case. In Nigeria, those who massacred innocents demonstrating became war heroes. But what is amazing about my experience is that I've never managed to feel any bitterness, on any side, for it just was life's experience. You had these experiences and you took them within your stride and you moved on. And I have friends from every part of Nigeria. I once boasted that I could travel through Nigeria and in probably 32 states, if I stayed in a hotel, somebody would be angry that I didn't stay in their home.
Wow.
In probably 32 states of Nigeria.
Wow.
And I said publicly, if I go to Sokoto, the person who will be responsible for my accommodation is the Sultan himself. Because I've known him for 40-something years.
And those are the kind of friendships that I want to talk about. So you've got friends across Nigeria. And by the way, my darling listeners, let me just tell you, I have with me a young lady who is a film director who's joining us all the way from Accra by Skype. Her name is Ifoma. Ifoma, please say hello before I come to you so they know you're here.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Right.
It's
so
great to be here. Thanks
excellent.
for having me.
Thank you. So, Prof, what I want to ask is, so you've got friends all across Nigeria. You've just mentioned the Sultan. Again, I go back to being an Igbo man. When those friendships are formed, does the fact that you are an Igbo, of Igbo ethnicity, come into play at all?
You never really think of those things. Actually, when I was growing up, you didn't think where anybody came from. Like I said, I lived in Ibadan in high school in the 60s during the Civil War. And there's a little joke about, there was a cluster of us who had as, because Engineer Vincent Maduka was general manager at WNTV, which, now became the nucleus of the NTA network. It was first television station in Africa. And so a group of us in Loyola College in Ibadan back in those days would, on holidays go and visit at his home. And Mrs. Maduka, who is Yoruba, of course, engineer Mrs. Maduka, never, she says, you never stop hearing this. I ate free John for the first time in her home. I think it was Good Friday or something in 1968, or and we had these friendships. We all grew up never thinking where the other came from, even in the middle of the Nigerian Civil War. And I would go off from school, go to friends' homes and spend the weekend in Ekiti and come back to Ibadan. And I thought nothing of those things.
Excellent. Ifoma, are you there?
Yes.
Right. Obviously. So you're, how should I say, child to Prof. So this is going to be an intergenerational conversation. You heard what Prof said. As an Igbo ethnicity, who is a young director, up and coming, you're confident, you're beautiful, you're Nigerian. Tell me, what has your experience been as an Igbo woman?
Okay. I grew up I was born in Warri, grew up in Port Harcourt, and have lived in Port Harcourt, Warri, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Abuja. So my experience as a Nigerian hasn't been hasn't been in Igbo land. Even though I would go back, I would visit, Christmas time and all that. But I went to school with Nigerians from all walks of life and various ethnicities. And I never really saw myself as Igbo first or as other until I started to get a bit older and more conversant with my history as an Igbo woman and, the things that happened in the past and the aftermath of that. And what I've realized is initially, on the surface, you don't have that differentiation, right? Because, now this is younger generation. We're all one Nigeria, quote unquote. But when push comes to shove, and I think this is not just an Igbo thing, I think it's a Nigerian thing. But when push comes to shove, it's your tribe first or your ethnicity first. So let's say you get into a disagreement about something and it's like, oh, because you're Igbo, you say that. Or you have certain experiences and you try to explain your point of view to somebody else and they can't seem to get it because they look at it as, well, I'm this and you're that. So I think in my experience, I would say as an Igbo Nigerian woman, the older I got and the more I started to have more relevant conversations to our history. And then as a filmmaker with my work, I also touch on some of this subject matter of our history and Igbo history, Nigerian history, and our dark past in that regard. And I find that I'm just becoming more and more aware that there is a difference. There is an othering that happens. It's not on the surface, but when, again, like I said, when push comes to shove, that always comes out. So yeah, that's been my experience.
Okay, now you mentioned that othering, and I want to talk about that. Let's kind of delve in there a little bit. How does that othering make you feel? So you meet me, Ireti, aka Gay, and the first thing that I see about you is that you're Igbo. I don't see Ifoma, the female, the woman, the Nigerian, my sister, fabulosity. I don't see Ifoma, the talented person. I don't see the film director. I don't see the creative. I see Ifoma, the others, quote unquote, Igbo, those others, those Igbos. How does that make you feel?
I mean, on one hand, I think I've grown a bit more sympathetic to it because I realized that human beings in general we're clannish, we're tribal psychologically. But at the same time, when you're reminded of it very often, it makes me feel like regardless of what I do, I would be put in a box of, Omoibo, which is something I've heard quite a lot, that phrase, especially when I lived in Lagos. And sometimes it's not even malicious, sometimes it's just a reference to something I've done or it's a joke even. But having that come first as my identity is sometimes a problem, and it's conflicting for me because on one hand, I want to be proud and I am proud of being an Igbo woman, On the other hand, I'm Nigerian, and sometimes I struggle with, okay, am I Igbo first? Am I Nigerian first? What am I in this identity cocktail, right? Like, what am I first?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Yeah, because even sometimes on some days, I still have to ask myself that question. Again, if push comes to shove, if there is conflict or if there is, whether it's conflict, political conflict or conflict of opinions, on what side would I stand first? And also, is there a way to not have to take sides? So can I be both?
Yeah.
In the Venn diagram of Igbo Nigeria, can I be in the middle where I'm Igbo Nigerian as opposed to Igbo first or Nigerian first?
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. We're going to be going on a break in a minute. But before we go on break, I'm going to try and sneak in this question. You heard Ifoma mention about the othering. Have you experienced that othering?
I think I've experienced it, but it bounces off. I'm like what's the frying pan that that the thing doesn't stick.
Non-stick frying pan.
It doesn't. So it doesn't. It just glazes, and so people around me have no choice but to deal with me as I am. Because really? Oh yeah, of course I'm Igbo and I'm very proud of it. Nigeria, and you can't,
Yeah.
So in that Venn diagram that Ifoma was talking about, hey, be comfortable. You're all of them. That's who you are.
Yeah.
But by disposition, I believe in man's shared humanity, and I feel as comfortable with a Vietnamese, with an American. I'm a global citizen. I don't really think of myself in terms of identity pockets.
Excellent.
When
we come back after the break, I want to talk about that humanity and the identity and the togetherness of us. We'll be right back, people. Stay tuned in.
Downfall Conversations will be right back.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what is now? That is money you just call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
We Entertainment, in partnership with Riverside Productions, bring you this comedy blockbuster, One Lagos Night. Starring Frank Donga.
That place where they put motor in garage. No be a Japan store.
Eniola Badmus, Aliunuhu, Chris Okabwe, Obolo, and lots more. Directed by Ekene Som Mekuye.
God, I swear to God, if after 7 days you don't answer me, I'll go meet the devil.
What in the talk? Read the word, just what's for the
Devil himself.
Premieres May 29th on Netflix.
Meanwhile, landlord carry come. See what bring.
What you say one?
Check out, I no be quick not to do that. Based on rent, no carry our look come on.
Which kind of is this now? First, na job matter. Second, na jam matter.
One Lagos Night. Anticipate.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what is now? That is money you just call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You don't have to leave home without us again. Listen on the air and online. Just search Nigeria Info FM on the Apple app or Google Play Store and never miss a thing. Your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back, my lovely listeners. How are you doing? Right, so before we went on break, Prof, I said I wanted us to talk about that humanity of us. Because here's the thing. We have two things that we can't change. We better get over it and we better deal with it. Those two things are critical to the existence of every single one of us. Number one is the fact that we're human. Number two is the fact that we're Nigerians. Whether you like it or not, whether you have dual nationality or not, whether you were born in Kashamfan or you were born in Sweden, we are Nigerians together. So I want you to talk to us about that humanity that you mentioned before we went on break.
Right. Just put it this way. If you think there's something different between you and your neighbor, what moral right do you have to say Black Lives Matter? Because it's the same thing. The reason that this global movement, is to say that shared humanity is the basis for who we are. Who of you chose to be Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa? You just popped up from your parents and, okay, they spoke this language. It's even almost the same thing with religion,
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, if your parents didn't go to this church, you would probably
not go there.
Yeah. So all of these things are identity issues that were raised in the course of time to deal with competition to survive in life. If I go academic, it's brilliant work being done at Harvard at a center called the Center for Moral Cognition. It's directed by a chap called Joshua Green. And he has written an interesting book titled Moral Tribes, Emotion, Reason, and the Gap Between Us and Them. And the work combined neuroscience, philosophy, and psychology to explain how humans collaborate and the reasons why they find differences. Many years ago, when I was still in grad school, a wonderful lady who was my head of department pioneered, well, in the manner of speaking, work around an area generally referred to as rational choice, rational choice theory. Lynn went on to win a Nobel Prize in economics for her work, by the way. And she was picking up on work that some biologists actually had done. In 1968, published a famous article, The Tragedy of the Commons. And the tragedy of the commons is about how people make choices. That has led to this whole game theory thing. You say that this open grazing field is available. Anybody can graze. So everybody has one cow. And realizes that if he brings in 2 cows, he can make some more money, sell 1 cow. So everybody keeps bringing in more cows. Nobody grows the grass. And eventually all the cows die because there's no grass to eat. It's a tragedy of the commons. That's what we've been battling with as humans in different ways and collaborating differently. And so finding reasons to discriminate against those people who are for, the Greeks had 3 categories of people that the way they put people in boxes. At the base were idiots, as they were called. And idiots wasn't a cursor. So it was people who think only of themselves.
Interesting.
They're idiots. You move up a little and you become a tribesman. A tribesman is people who think only of your collective. These people that speak the same language. Yes. So, and the tribesman defines the relationship between them and others as war. Everybody outside of me, something's wrong with them. Everybody inside of me is okay. So, but the ultimate human being is a citizen who sees a shared humanity.
Indeed.
And it is this shared humanity, and that's the business of civilization. That's the business of having proper leaders in public life to help people become citizens. And as citizens, engage this shared humanity in a way that it leads to collaboration and cooperation that advances the common good of all.
Excellent. Thank you. Ifoma, are you still there? I hope we haven't lost the connection.
Yes. No, I'm here.
Right. You heard what Prof said. What do you have to say in your eyes about that humanity of us? I mean, of course, you're living in Ghana right now, so it comes even more to play.
Yeah. I think I 100% agree with Prof that, when he said, you can't say this person is different from me and then say Black Lives Matter. You can't discriminate against somebody based on their tribe or based on something that they had no choice in. You're born into a certain tribe, into a certain race, into a certain religion, into a certain family, and that is not something that you chose. I think ideally, if we were in a utopia, right, that would be the case. But the sad thing is that humanity gets lost when fear becomes the driving motivator for things. Fear that these people are going to harm me, or these people, if given the opportunity or if given the power, would do XYZ thing to me. And I think that's where our leaders come in, because we're predisposed as human beings, we're predisposed to fear and looking out and always trying to watch our backs and make sure that we're not in danger. And when you look at situations where tribalism and ethnicity, tribalism and being clannish has led to great tragedy, like in Rwanda and with the Jews and Hitler and all of that. And when you look at it, it really is fear at the bottom of everything, because
Absolutely.
It's that, these people are going to do this, so before they can do this, let's do that. And that is now reinforced, and once it's like a fire, once the match is lit and the fire starts, it continues to grow. So I think education is something that can reinforce this shared humanity that we speak of, telling people from birth in every aspect of life, in our religious houses and in school and in politics and in homes, that we are one. The same blood that pumps through your veins pumps through my veins, and the only thing that separates us is that fear, really, nothing else. Because when you even look at you hear of those very inspiring stories of even people going out of their way to save the other people, the people that they should quote unquote be afraid of, right? In times of crisis. My parents have told me stories of, for instance, the Asaba massacre that Prof mentioned. My mom told me a story of a family friend who was saved from the massacre by his his former classmate, who was in the Nigerian army at the time, whose humanity, came before any orders he was given, and he saved him. So I think, and these stories go to show that we at the core, there's the humanity. It's just the other things that come in and distract us, the fear, the propaganda. But at the very core, when we're all born, when we're babies, when we're children, before life has imprinted on us, we have this shared humanity. Yeah. So
thank you.
That's what I think on it.
Thank you. Let me just remind our callers of the telephone number 0700-993-993-993. And we have a female only line. Don't get jealous, blokes. 014-657-190. And you can WhatsApp on 0809-597-5805. The lines are going, but I'm going to open it soon. Let me just do something. This is the last part before we open up the lines. Now, Prof, we've all skirted around the issue, and we're not allowed to mention it. We're not allowed to mention that experience that was. So let's just call it. So I'd like to say something. I'd like to ask, let's call this session the healing session, right? This part. And I'd like to ask, how do we begin to heal when we continue to be silenced and stay silent about an experience that is still being felt by some, shaping others, but even more so, one that is our collective history? How do we move on? Because Ifeoma mentioned something. She said education. How do we move on? How do we learn from something we are so silenced about? How do we learn from that incident, that experience, that event that we can't mention?
The great Spanish writer George Santayana said that those who do not learn history live to repeat its mistakes.
Indeed, yes.
And Nigeria is in grave danger of repeating many mistakes because we try to cover these things up and that's dangerous for our country. But I think that when you talk about education, it's not just formal education, the teaching of history, all those will help. But it's in the sharing of experiences. I just give you one or two examples because there's so many wonderful stories writers can play on. We talked about the Asebo massacre.
Absolutely.
I was one of those who came out of it. My father was living in Lagos. I was out there, and some soldier claimed that he captured us and was lining up. The way it was done in those days, men line up this way, women this way, and they shoot the men. And he was lining us up, and an officer came and said, "What are you trying to do?" and slapped him and had him arrested. It turned out that Lieutenant Colonel was my father's friend.
Wow.
That's how my Civil War ended.
Wow.
And I came to Lagos. I mean, he used to visit us at home. After he left that front, I came back to Lagos. After the war, in fact, he used to visit with us at home. Now, but more than that, if people shared other experiences of humanity, let's give a simple example. When the June 12th thing started, I played a, let's say, prominent role in creating a group that came to be known as the Concerned Professionals. And one of my most reliable friends in that protest initiative to restore Nigeria to order is a gentleman called Tunde Akinleye. Tunde passed, unfortunately, a few months ago. And I remember that at the tribute to Tunde, my tribute was titled, "A Friend Far More Than a Brother." And you have those, Tunde would stop by the house. He was chairman of a Ikoyi club and all of that. And my children abroad in school, when they call to say, "How are things at home?" they will ask about Uncle Tunde.
Indeed.
It just never crossed their minds
that he was of a different
ethnic group,
them.
you know.
Yeah.
So I think that as the more these experiences are shared, the more people will grow, rather than try and sweep things under the carpet.
Indeed.
And and then people develop these notions of this horrible thing, and then it leads them to doing something. I don't know.
Indeed. Thank you. Ifoma, how do we begin to unsilence the silenced? How do we begin to educate from it? How do we begin to heal and move forward from it without even necessarily mentioning it? Because it is there. Whether we choose to mention it or not, it happened. And I say something to people. I say to them, a pain denied is worse than justice denied. Because if I hurt you and I come to you and seek your forgiveness and say, "Sorry, I have acknowledged your pain," then I may not need to go to court, whether you stole my money, whether you broke a contractual agreement, whatever. But if I ignore and pretend it didn't happen, then that's greater, I believe, than you even going to court. Because even if you get justice in court, the fact that I have not acknowledged your pain, I have not said sorry for your pain, I have not come to you for reconciliation, means nothing. So how do we go on from there?
I think in situations like this, where people are already resistant to the idea of talking about it, and there's, this culture of silence around these issues, the responsibility falls on the artists, I believe. The artists are the gatekeepers of culture, of politics. And when you talk about education and, putting history in the curriculum and, teaching people formally, that speaks to the head. Art speaks to the heart, speaks to the soul. And I think when you look at events in history that have happened and, people have healed from or in the process of healing from, art and storytelling plays a huge role. Much of what I know about the Holocaust and the American Civil Rights Movement and, other examples.
Hotel Rwanda and all of those things. Yes.
Rwanda, exactly. Through films, through music, through documentaries. So yes, I definitely agree with Prof that sharing stories, sharing experiences, and that that will lead to some kind of truth and reconciliation, and that way people who are even resistant to the idea, who may not want to read about it in a book, or who may not want to hear it in a formal setting or formal sectors, will be more open to it, because it's like putting the medicine in the sugar, right? If I put it in the film, if I put it in a song, maybe there's less resistance to it. So I think that's a big vehicle for healing, art, storytelling, sharing.
Yeah.
Even maybe more than the more structured formal ways.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. In Nigeria, I had Professor Jibrin Ibrahim here some episodes ago. And one of the things that we learned from there, and he made very clear, is we are all marginalized in one way or the other. But there's also something that I want to bring up. The pain and the anger of the Igbos has to be engaged if we are to move on, especially at the human level. So what would you say to 30th of May being a Memorial Day? Prof.
Oh, me? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, no, that would be a wonderful thing to have. Incidentally, you mentioned Jibo Ibrahim, Professor Jibo Ibrahim.
Yes, Jibs.
He and I started school same day in Kano.
Wow.
In a Catholic school.
Wow.
And so you want to take these experiences down. A lot of the leaders in the north today, former Central Bank Governor Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, said without the church, he would not have been educated, he wouldn't have become who he became.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stop him from being a Muslim. In that same way, I think that when we celebrate after all the resistance in America, we have Martin Luther King Day.
Absolutely.
And so if we had...
the Tulsa massacre just got acknowledged by Biden.
Clinton apologized for certain things that happened.
The Germans are apologizing, to that African country. France is going around.
These things.
Macron is bending his head all over the place.
Yeah,
why not us?
Healing. Even the Pope apologized for things done during the what were those wars, religious wars in Europe. And so it's important to acknowledge those things so that the pain can go away, or we'll become like the Balkans. One of the problems with the Balkans is that there are 1,000-year-old wounds that are still making people fight every day. You want to get rid of those by, not by pretending they didn't happen, but by dealing with them, by acknowledging them and celebrating them.
Absolutely. Ifama, what do you think to a Memorial Day, 30th of May being a Memorial Day that brings us together, and it should be a National Memorial Day, that brings us together to teach us what the Igbos called Ozomena. Ozomena. See, I'm trying.
Yeah, you're trying.
I'm trying. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that is a fantastic idea. I think it's the first step, because when that happens, there will be a domino effect. Now it's a day, it's a public holiday, it's a day of remembrance. Children are going to grow up asking, Mom, Dad, what's May 30th? Why are we celebrating this day? People are going to talk about it. It's now going to be, and I think usually when I think about healing and, moving forward, acknowledgement alone goes a long way. People who feel grief and people who feel wronged and hurt and pain, just the acknowledgement of, we see you, we hear you, we know what you're saying, that's like 50% of the problem is solved, because at least there's that owning up, there's that acknowledgement. And then obviously the conversations that would spark, the chance that creates to have even events on that day, maybe even panels, truth and reconciliation committees, just like they did in Africa, South Africa, and in Rwanda. So I definitely think it's it's what we should do, really. It's what we should do. It shouldn't even be an option. It should be, at some point, it's like it should be a demand.
Absolutely.
But I just think so.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. The lines are already going off. Okay, so I'm about to open them. Let me just remind you of the telephone number again: 0700 993 993 993. Female only line 014 657 190. And you can send me a WhatsApp on 0809 597 5805. So here's a line, one of my favorite lines from our national anthem. And I want you to remember this before you call in, because you know what you were supposed to call in about. There is a line that I love, and it says, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood, and I add, in sisterhood, we stand. So
that's the old anthem.
Absolutely. Which is why it's my favorite. Yeah,
Okay.
honestly. So before we answer a call, I want you're calling in to tell me, we're not going to talk about the past, we're going forward now. I want you to tell me that special Igbo person in your life and what makes them special. Let's answer the first call. Hello? Hello? Okay, second call. Hello?
Yeah, Chief Mrs. Ireti Bakare, good afternoon.
Oh, Chief Mister, how are you?
Prof, good afternoon, sir.
Good
afternoon.
Yes. Madam, good afternoon.
Ifeoma is here, yes, good afternoon, thank you.
Good afternoon, ma. I beg, Prof, you need to forgive me. I'm just coming in. You know, I'm running health at Keta. Say, oh, a Danfo program is on. Danfo program. So please, just forgive me. Prof, please, I hear Chief Mrs. Bakare talking of marginalization, right? I want to beg it. Prof, I always feel bad that we have somebody like you in Nigeria. We're going through this type of stormy water. Prof, hello, sir.
Yeah.
We're listening. You have to hurry up. You got 10.
I feel pain. When I hear your voice, I see you're a Nigerian and this type of thing is going on. And madam, please, for me, I'm speaking for myself. Christopher Onwoka is my name. I want to beg the other two tribes. I'm sorry to say this. The Yorubas and the Hausas, please. There's this romance between them. They should try and carry the other tribe among. That is the Easterners, please.
Thank you. Right, next call, please. Remember what you're calling about. You're calling to tell me of that special Igbo person in your life. And if you're an Igbo person that's calling, give me an Igbo name. I want to celebrate my Igbo brothers and sisters today. Today, I am wearing my East, and I'm wearing it proudly. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Kofu. Actually, I'm on the road.
Okay.
There is this Igbo lady in my compound before where we used to live. She's a grandma. The whole family, we are friends. The compound is like we are like friends. You know, everybody. But this particular woman, she's going to be 90 next year.
Wow.
For the past 5 years, but every time I call her, and she will be like, Mommy, only you remember me and all that. She's so pleasant. She's a retired railway. Pensioner. She's a pensioner. She's so beautiful.
Should we give her a shout out? What's her name?
I don't know, but we call her Grandma.
Grandma who lives near Mama Shiju.
Who is our grandchild, and in her compound. So, but she's a lovely, but I still talk to her up to date. The last time I called her, she was just like, Mommy, when I go to, she says Yoruba, say, when I go, will you follow me? And I'll be like, Grandma, don't go now because I cannot follow you across the
We certainly need her. Thank you so much for calling in. That's the kind of call I want to hear. Next caller, please. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell me about that special Igbo person in your life, yes.
Okay, my name is Kenneth Ehichoy. I'm from Edo State.
Hello, Kenneth.
Let me just mention two names.
Go ahead.
Tony Okoroji, then Chinedu Chukwuji.
Wonderful. What makes them special? Tell us quickly.
They are detribalized.
Wonderful.
Like I said, I am from Edo.
More
State.
news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
My people, how far now? See, if any kind person say you want the coded password for your bank app, I be your PIN, I be your card PIN, I be the TIN number where they for the back of your card, your pay ID, I be the answer for your security question. I beg not give them all. All this information, them supposed they coded. You're not supposed to share them with anybody. Make you wise up. No make that scam you. This message now from Koda Microfinance Bank, the bank of the free. Make you download Kuda for Play Store or for App Store to open account. Make you start to enjoy our Wolf banking.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what is now? That is money you just call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. I go block you now. You go see.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, we're back to answering your calls. Sorry about the caller before the break. I got carried away and I was busy listening to your wonderful story. Next caller, please. Hello.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, ma. Tell me about that wonderful Igbo person in your life.
Mrs. Bisi Lawansin.
Okay, hello, Mrs. Bisi.
I have an Igbo woman as a friend. When I was in School of Nursing, we are in the same class, but she's so nice. We all stay together. She's even more closer to me than Yoruba. When our daughter, a doctor, was doing wedding, and for about late last year, it made my husband the chief, the father of the day. He so much loved me, called me every time. The family were like the same. When our children was on holiday, they would come and spend all day with me. When she had her husband's parents' burial at Ogashiko, I followed her there. Many times I followed her to the East more than 3 times. And we are so close. She always asks of me every day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
No, I'm retired now, but she is still at work, but very nice.
Thank you so much. And what's her name?
People that are so close to one.
What's her name? Can we give her a shout out?
Beatrice Emeawai.
Beatrice Emeawai, Mama.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Next caller, please. Hello. Okay. Next caller, please. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Onyebuchi Idika.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, I want to contribute for the program.
Yes. You do know what you're supposed to be contributing, don't you?
Yeah, I know, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just like the last caller said. So, well, I'm from Enugu State, from Igbo land.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were in Enugu, my dad trained a lot of boys from North.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them today, they are living very fine, have many businesses in Lagos and all over the whole place.
Mm-hmm.
So I plead with Nigerians, please, there's always patience with Igbos. Please. Igbo people are the most loveliest people. I beg. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, we are all one.
Indeed, we are.
As I'm talking to you today, the one of my best friends, we've been dating now, we want to marry, from North, from Sokoto.
Ooh, congratulations.
Please, man, Nigeria should be patient. Whatever, let us try, let's how to tolerate one another.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you. Thank you. Next caller, please. Hello. Okay, next caller. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Good morning, Prof.
Hello. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my best ebook, whatever. I'm going to give it to my mom.
I need you to hurry up because we're about to go to the 2:00 news.
I'm going to give it to my mom.
Your mom?
My mom is Fulani. She's from the north. My mom is Fulani and gone back to my dad, which is an Igbo man.
Okay.
So she has been very dedicated. My mom even speaks Igbo more than me, more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I need you to hurry up. We're going to the 2:00 news.
So I will give it to my mom.
Okay, give me her name.
Her name is Maria.
Maria, thank you so much, Maria. Right, we're going to the news and we'll be right back with this wonderful vibe of celebrating each other.
Downfall Conversations will be right back.
Leading the conversation.
We black people must understand what is really going on.
Import milk, sugar, toothpaste, handkerchief, pencil. We don't make.
Presenting the facts and access to pour out your mind.
Every time you bring in a shipload of rice, you also bring in a shipload of unemployment because you are transferring your wealth to sustain other economies.
So let's look at an Africa that must be free to take care of herself, an Africa that's free from exploitation in broad daylight.
They need jobs. They are children. They've graduated. They've come back home to begin a second child because there's no factory to employ them.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It's the headline news on 1.3 Info.
Police Council confirms Usman Baba as Substantive Inspector General of Police. Army dispels rumors of mass sack. President Buhari calls for global support to develop Niger Basin. Federal government insists Nigeria is not a failed state. A former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, says Nigeria is currently dripping with bitterness and sadness, while Nigeria records 18 new COVID-19 cases and 122. Nigeria records 18 new COVID-19 deaths and 122 new cases. Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoagege rules out possibility of new constitution, but Christian Association of Nigeria wants immunity clause removed in favor of constitution review. Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria criticizes no work, no pay policy of Rivers Governor Nyesom Wike. Lagos government promises to select new LASU Vice Chancellor on merit, while police confirm death of student beaten by teacher in Kano State. And on the foreign scene, South African mother arrested for trying to sell newborn twins. Those were the headlines here at 99.3 Nigeria Info. It is back to the Downfall Conversation. I'm Yvonne Archival.
The news. Timely, fresh as it breaks on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome back to Downfall Conversations right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, we're back, people. The telephone number is 0700 993 993 993. Female only line is 014 657 190. And WhatsApp is 0809 597 5805. So let me tell you about, I have several wonderful Igbo people in my life. Wonderful. I mean, several. But here's the thing with me. I rarely ever remember the Igbo. So if you had stopped me yesterday or even before I was doing the show, or even when I woke up this morning and said to me, Ireti, mention an Igbo person, I probably would have said, well, I don't know, because that's the last thing that I remember about them. But since we're all sharing our Igbo stories, I have so many, but I'm just going to give you two names. One is going to be desperately embarrassed. The other one will also want to kill me. In fact, three names. Oh, God, that's the thing. Once you start thinking about it, it's like I'm thinking of 4 or 5. I can probably mention 10 now. But there's one who is currently on Nigerian Idol. He's a wonderful, wonderful brother of mine. The last thing I remember is that he's Igbo. The last thing I remember is where he comes from in Nigeria. The first thing that I always remember when I send him a message, when we're gisting on the phone, is that I need to talk to my brother. I need to gist with him. I need to get his advice. He's a great supporter of mine. He encourages and lifts me up all the time. If you've been watching that show, Nigerian Idol, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. So that's one. The second one that I want to mention, or two others, are three women. One is Dr. Ndidi Nwaneri. Ndidi is, wow, she's my conscience sister. She's my intellectual sister. She's a professor. We're constantly putting everything back together. We dissect and rebuild Nigeria. We're supposed to have 2-minute conversation. We end up in a 2-hour conversation. The last thing we actually remember about each other is which ethnicity we come from. As in, sometimes I'm the one that's even talking for my East, and she's the one talking for the Southwest or whatever. That's what brings us together. We come together as women, we come together as Nigerians, we come together as humans. There's a second woman I want to mention. Her name is Barbara. Barbara, I can even tell you, I don't even remember. Barbara is as unethnicized as it comes. But the one thing she always teases me about is, Ireti, I can see the Igbo in you. And this is it. Because at this point, I'm going to bring... There's that hashtag that's been on Twitter. It's called I Am Igbo Too. And it was started by a wonderful man called M.I. You know the rapper? Yes, I'm dropping names. So I'm going to be dropping names because when people do wonderful things, I like to give them a shout out. He would have joined us today, but he's got a new release coming out today, so he's busy doing the promo. So I would like you to go on his handle and actually hashtag I Am Igbo Too. The third person I'm going to mention, female, is a woman called Isabel Williams. Isabel. The first time I went to the East was because I went with Isabel. Not because I didn't even remember she was from the East. Her grandmother died. And it's like, okay, hon, we've got to go. We have to go for the burial. Okay, that's when I literally remembered. Okay, sorry, where are you from again? I don't remember because that was the last thing I remember about her. That was my first time of going to Arochukwu. I hope I've pronounced it well, Prof. Arochukwu, and I had a fabulous time. And that was my first time of experiencing an Igbo weight keeping. It was really quite an experience, you know. So I had to tell you that part of me because so much of me, so much of my time in Nigeria, so much of me that you're listening to, that some of you like, that annoys some of you, is made up of so many different ethnicities. And I always like to say, I am my East. I am Igbo too. And the Igbo experience lives in me too. Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got the lines going. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay, lines are cutting off. Sorry. Hello. Oh dear. Do we have? Yes, we have liftoff. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. My name is Sonny Ebusele. I'm from Edo State, but I currently live in Lagos. I just wanted to talk about a community in Ebonyi State where I serve. They were like my brothers and my sister there. The community specifically was called Isuachara in Onitsha local government. Immediately I got there, they really loved me. And if you go there today, people who live from 2008 to 2009 where I served there, if you ask them about Kopasoni, they will tell you many things about me, except those that were born after I left there. They really loved me and I loved them. In fact, I've never been so close to everybody, even in those states, the way I was so close to them. I felt them every day. So I cannot say names, I cannot call their name, but there are people that really made much impact in my life. I never lacked anything while I was there. They provided everything for me. In fact, I love them down to this day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
My name is Ndidi Nwaneri.
Oh.
And when you are mentioned in a program, like jails will not let you, but I have been trying for a bit. Hello, Prof.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to listen to you. And I say hello to my other sister from Ghana.
Ifoma.
I hope you. Ifoma,
yes.
Hi, how are you? And Cecile Gay Bawoni.
I did find more I can't pay.
So do I? Who am I going to celebrate? Who is Igbo? The person I'm going to celebrate is Ireti Bakare, actually, because she's nominally Igbo, because the hustling spirit that the Igbos both.
I see that in her.
So that is the person I'm going to celebrate. But seriously, I'm brokenhearted over what is happening in Nigeria. Like you, Prof, I grew up in Mushin, Mushin. I did my undergrad in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Oh, network. Keep going.
I grew up to Lagos, and within a year, I was back in Zaria. Because Zaria was just home, it was just this cozy blanket that I couldn't, that I just thought, right? I thought Zaria again. I went back there, partly because of the intellectual community, it was a university, and partly because it was just home. So a lot of what people are talking about, there's something I'm going to take exception to, and that is Sisioge referring to people as detribalized. Detribalized is a default position. Tribalism is what is artificial, right? So when you say someone is detribalized, it's almost as if they were born tribal. Well, maybe they were raised tribal, but we're clean slates, right? Everything is learned. So I'm going to stop. As she said, we keep talking about, we talk and we sometimes we're on the phone for 2 hours instead of 10 minutes. And I want to appeal to Nigerians, not, again, and there's another thing I want to mention. Sometimes the question is more important than the answer. Igbos Are Nigerians Too is coming from a place where maybe we're admitting by that question that there is some exclusion. But the favorite word that people use, in Nigeria, everybody uses it, is marginalization.
Yeah.
So there is something that we need to address. Igbos, but we really have to go back to the drawing board. And I'm just going to stop there because this is a program. I don't want us to...
And the lines are going by. Lovely to hear from you. Bye-bye, my darling. Hello. Hello. Hello? Okay. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good
yes,
afternoon.
good afternoon. Tell us about that wonderful Igbo person in your life.
Yeah, my name is Wale. So my Igbo person I would like to celebrate is a man. We call him Pastor. 2005, I was looking for an admission into university. I actually got an admission to university. So I was having issue with payment. And there's this man in my street. I just greet him occasionally, that we know each other much. One day he called me and he asked me, what am I doing? I told him I got an admission, but I don't have money to pay. He said, okay, I should see him the following day. But I happened to see him about 3 days later, and he was even the one that called me. And I can't believe it. He gave me 25,000 naira.
Wow.
Without even asking me this. He said I should go and pay that first. That maybe if I pay that, they will admit me and we'll be struggling to get the other payment.
Excellent.
I was surprised. This is an Igbo man. I'm a Yoruba man. So I was like, I just thanked him then. I said, I really appreciate it. So after taking the money to school, I got admitted and everything. I came back to him and I told him that I really appreciate it. I even told my dad to thank him.
The lines are going, so you're thanking him again today? What's his name again?
I thought that's the problem. Then we called him pastor because he's not a practicing pastor, but he has a very
big heart.
He has this nice character that everybody likes.
Excellent.
So we call him pastor.
Let's hope he's listening today. Thank you for celebrating him. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Who's that wonderful Igbo person you want to celebrate? We have to hurry up now. Lines are going. We don't have much time. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't have any Igbo, but I have one Calabar boy to celebrate it. He serves in my place. Benue State. He serves in the Benue State, or in the local government of Benue. This boy used to go. Yes, this boy used to go. He used to follow my mom to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He used to follow my mom to farm.
Wow.
He farm with my mom, and even up to today, he used to even come down to our place.
Yeah.
He's from Calabar. So I celebrate that boy.
Thank you. What's his name?
Yes. Basi.
Basi. Thank you so much for calling. Basi, thank you for being a Nigerian. Next caller, please. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Yes, you need to turn your radio down, otherwise we have to cut you off.
This is Yusuf.
Okay, go ahead, Yusuf. Who's that wonderful Igbo person you want to celebrate?
But I want to celebrate Mr. Ignatius Opara.
Why is that? Tell us, what's he about?
In fact, he's one of my Oga. I work with several years with him. And I left him, came to Lagos to look for something else to do. In fact, this man was, even when I was in Lagos here, this man is trying to help my family up to date. So, you see, I am celebrating him a lot because I will never forget this man because he tried for me and my family up to date.
Excellent.
So, you see, that's one of the things that I have to celebrate him.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I encourage some other people, like especially those young ones that are grown up now. Those young ones, in fact, we need to understand that. They need to understand that there is a things those old ones they are doing them to you to make example on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, and I celebrate this Igbo man. Especially my secondly, I have my.
I need you to hurry up. We've got so many people calling. The lines are live. I need you to hurry up. Go on. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Victory.
Victory. Right. Who's the Igbo person you'd like to celebrate? Who is the Igbo person in your life that you would like to celebrate?
All right, before I answer that question, I want to know, on Sunday, where is she from?
I beg your pardon? I can't hear you.
On Sunday in Nigeria, where is she from?
Only Sunday?
Yes.
That's the point. I don't know. She's my colleague. She's my colleague.
Yes, she's your colleague. Where is she from?
My producer knows. Yes?
She's Igbo.
Why'd you ask?
All right. That is the woman I want to celebrate.
Wonderful. Only Sunday she can hear you. Ching ching.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the woman I want to celebrate.
Thank
she has
you.
seen my tears.
Aww.
She has sent my son back to school.
Oh.
So I'm so happy. It has lifted one thing off my head like a leaf. It has stabilized my BP since Monday till today.
Oh.
I celebrate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. You're going to make me cry, all of you. God, I'm fighting back the tears. Next caller, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Ireti.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, this is Tosam calling.
Hello, Tosan.
Yes. I want to celebrate uh, 3 Igbo women. One of them is Joyce Oyemua. I've been listening to her while she was in Cool FM, and then she moved to Nigeria Info. She has really been a good inspiration to us that listen to her shows. I like when she's always discussing and dissecting topics, and she comes from different angles, always trying to play the devil advocate in so many topics. And she just, the way she talks and the way she comes at topics enlightens most of us. Then the second Igbo person I want to celebrate is also Sandra Ezekwesili. I love her show when she does the half facts. I love her intelligence, and I love the way she comes at political topics, and just the way she discusses during her show. Then the third Igbo person I want to celebrate is Mommy Samuel. I remember when I was back in the university, in my 100 level, and I had issues with court girls. They were always disturbing me and wanted me to join that group. I remember she was one of the people that for me and fought against those court girls. I said no, that she's a new student, and she fought for me and made sure that those girls didn't do any harm to me. I remember the day when they came to school and then they tried to harm me in my room. She was the one that kept me in her room for a whole 1 week. I was feeding me, and they didn't even know where I was at that moment. And after like 1 week, they couldn't find me. They let me go. So I just want to say thank you to her. And I know she's listening.
And
because she's also listening to your show as well.
Oh, thank you for calling in. Thank you. Right. I've got some WhatsApp here that I have to read. Gosh, there's so many. Right. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm your number 1 fan. I'm renaming you Chinyerugo. Did I pronounce that right?
Chinyerugo.
Chinyerugo. And also saying hello to Prof and Ifoma. The person also says hello to you. The person says, beautiful program. Prof, I respect you a lot. I also respect Okonjo Iweala, Peter Edochie. We need shows like this to foster peace in Nigeria. His name is Edozie Din Naji. Let me just read another one very quickly. I'm going to be picking it randomly. Right, here we go. My best Igbo person is my father-in-law, Chief Williams Ohache from Ezeagu, Enugu State. I am from Cross River, Efik, and married to an Igbo woman. Please join me in praying for him, as I believe God for his speedy recovery after a road accident, which led to him being operated on. We keep him in my prayers, and we know he's going to get up by himself in the name of God. Amen. Let me just quickly read another one before we go back to the phone lines, because you my phone people, you like to dominate. The line, we're almost done. Okay, here's a long one. I'll read it quickly. Good afternoon, ma Ireti. You don't need to call me ma Ireti, or Sisi Oge will do. My name is Cyril from Ago Palace. Good afternoon to Prof and Ifoma. I'm actually from Edo State. I growing up, keep having friends from Igbo. It wasn't by choice, but destiny kept making this happen. Though I have also had other Igbo tribes too. But the Igbos happen to be the best for me. I think Nigerians should find a way of uniting everyone together. But if division seems the only way, then we should embrace it. I believe the greatest punishment God gave us as Nigerians was different languages. And the greatest thing he also gave us was the togetherness of us. Right, let's go back to the phone lines. I have so many calls and WhatsApp. I'll try and we've got 3 minutes left. So anybody that calls now, you've got 20 seconds. Just give the name of the person. Right, let's go.
Hello.
Hello. Right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Who's that Igbo person you want to celebrate? You've got 20 seconds.
Thank you. I'm Jonathan by name, a blind man. And I'm a beggar, quite okay. And somebody helped to take me off the street. And she's Mrs. Oyinye, living at Surrey. I don't know her at all. She just saw me in the market begging. And she called me, pick up my number. After picking up my number, she bought a brand new freezer for my wife to start pure water business.
Wow.
I'm celebrating her.
Thank you. Can you say her name again, please?
Mrs. Oyinye.
Mrs. Oyinye, thank you so much.
Surulere.
At Surulere. Mrs. Oyinye, thank you so much. God bless you, sir, for calling in. Let's try and fit in more, because we've got how long left? Not much. We always run out of time. Right, 1 minute left. You've got 20 seconds. Give me the name of the person, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Give me the name of the person you want to celebrate.
Onye Sunday.
Onye Sunday. Thank you. Right. Hello. Give me the name of the person you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
We're about to be cut off.
My name is Mr. Frank. I'm calling from Ojo Alaba. I want to celebrate Mrs. Bakare for the great ideas of bringing this Igbo celebration. And the Igbo celebration have started from today.
Absolutely. Amen.
Yes.
Right.
Amen.
Next caller, please. We're about to be cut off. We're going to be cut off. Just keep calls. Right. Hello. It doesn't matter. We're celebrating ourselves.
I'm celebrating 33. I'm celebrating 33 for giving us platform to say the truth.
I'm
celebrating I'm celebrating you. I'm celebrating all the whole staff of my
Thank you. Right. Okay. Quickly. Okay. Next call. Hello. We're about to be cut off. Go on. Say it quickly.
Hello?
Yes. Say who you want to celebrate. Quickly.
Yes, I'm Santos. I'm calling from the Koyi.
Okay. Go on. We're about to cut off. Who do you want to celebrate?
Yes, please. I'm celebrating.
Oh, wow. Sorry. All right. Might you be the last caller? Hello. Okay. I've got WhatsApp here. Somebody wants to celebrate. I want to celebrate my husband who is in Asaba Man when I'm from Ekiti. I want to celebrate Elder Nwamu. Want to celebrate my in-laws, the Nwamus. My youthful friends, Patience Ozegbo and Patience Okoro. My producer is saying, I've got to stop. Can we squeeze in one more person to celebrate my Igbo people? Come on. What's your name? What's the name?
Okay. My name is
Quickly. Tell us the name you want to celebrate. They're about to cut us off.
No, please, I just want to ask the Prof.
Ask Prof. You can't ask Prof anything. We're celebrating. Hello? Hello? Yes. Who do you want to celebrate? Okay. Look, it's been a wonderful show. Can we all remember the humanness of us and the Nigerianness of us? Go out there, hug your Igbo brother or sister, your neighbor, share a food with them. It's a weekend. Do something with them, but let's stop being divided. Even if they try to divide us, we must refuse to be divided. No supremacy, no putting down, no more xenophobia in our land. We are Nigerians, and we're going to stay Nigerians forever. Forever and ever, Prof?
Yes,
amen.
Absolutely. Amen and amen.
Amen. So that's bye from Ifama. Are you there? Do you have the last word?
Yes, I'm here.
Go on, your last word.
I just want to say thank you for this conversation. Very important. We need more of it. And I hope that we can keep having these conversations because that's one way to healing and unity. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us from Accra. Can I squeeze in one more? The phone line is going. I'm not allowed. Bye. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.